Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood. As we continue this search, this exploration into one J.H. Allison's mind of what he wanted to do for his entire birthday month, because we are exploring the director Ulli Lommel. I don't think I fucked up his name this time. All right, and we are. Go ahead. Did I fuck it up?
I love how you say his name differently every time you say it, but that's one of the charms of the show.
That's what I do.
Ulli. It's actually, I'm probably saying it wrong too. I say it Ulli Lommel, but I think it's Ulli Lommel, maybe.
Whatever.
I don't know. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter.
The man who will write stories that are lost in time, but we are bringing them up here on the Retro Blood. And up next for one of his stories. If y'all like that guy from the 2001 Space Odyssey, he was also in Black Christmas 2 with a very nice chin, hanging around, hanging out, talking, trying to save his wife or girlfriend or whatever from capturing somebody else's mind by a experiment deal. If y'all like a girl who, let's just be honest, she caused her own fucking accident, all right? That was stupid. Going to train tracks to the heel. All right, come on now.
Yeah.
Who gets turned into a brain dead zombie thing and then has an experimental treatment by a guy who puts a phone next to his chest for some reason that wasn't explained. And if you all like slow action at the end with the guy who has 2 X's on his wrist, which I thought it meant straight edge, but apparently it did it. It actually meant his name, who I, throughout the whole movie, called him the fake Adidas killer, who will kill some girl who is bitching out of him in like a Boston, New York accent, and he will kill her by jukebox, or what do you call that? What do you think? What is it? That's the
boombox.
The boombox.
Boombox
right.
is what you're trying to think of. Yeah, I think it was like a radio type.
Death by boombox in the tub.
Yeah.
Then this is the horror film for you, brother. I mean, what's more devastating than that? All right?
Yeah.
Electricity in the tub. Because we are talking all about Brainwaves.
Mm-hmm.
All right? J.H. Allison, James Clyde. What's happening, Allison? How is your stalking the girlfriend, and then the girlfriend's brain gets into another girlfriend's brain, and then there was a kid there, and you got the guy from Space Odyssey hanging out, and how did you like this?
So, we have this tradition on the show where for my birthday month, I pick whatever I want and you have to watch it.
Yes.
And then for your birthday month, we pick whatever you want to watch and then I have to watch it.
Oh.
And I had never seen any of these movies before.
Yeah.
So I'm watching them for the first time too.
Yeah.
And now that I've picked these, I'm kind of worried about what you're going to make me watch next month. But to be honest with you, though, I love this movie, but I don't know why.
I thought it had like a pretty interesting story, but like the fucking, I don't know, man. Like it was just one of those stories that just like, oh, we're here, we're talking, and everybody's kind of monotone a little bit, and. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I like the actor guy. I'll get his name over here when I get the notes and stuff. The guy, he was in obviously one of my favorite horror films that we did a long time ago on the Lights Out, Black Christmas. He was like the fucking main dude in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, 2001 Space Odyssey, that's probably what he's most known for. But in this film, he's all right. It just comes local husband. He kept calling his son Pumpkin, though.
That was weird, right?
What the fuck was that about? That was weird. Hey, Pumpkin. Like, listen, I don't, whatever, but I don't remember calling the dude Pumpkin before, but who am I to judge?
Yeah. It's whatever makes them happy, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say one thing I've figured out with these first 2 movies, these Ulli Lommel movies, is like, he makes these really short movies. Like this movie's not even, or barely 80 minutes long.
Yeah, that's true.
But somehow they're still slow.
Yeah, very slow.
Like, I don't know how you can make a movie this short,
yeah,
and it still be this slow.
Well, there's some action at the end.
That's true. They do speed up at the end a little bit.
Right. Where they had the fake Adidas killer.
Yeah.
Where, like,
I thought that guy was just a CM Punk fan with his double
me too,
X's
with the
on
double
his
X.
arm.
Yeah, I do like the scene though, like where God, let me get the names of these people in here. Look how prepared we are on here. All right. I do like where the main guy, the guy I was talking about, Keir Dula. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying his name. He played Julian. Where he was all like, they have, he found out that his wife has brains from somebody else. It was an experiment that the doctor did, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's a brand new experiment. There was two things I liked about it. Then we'll get on to the stuff, the full backgrounds.
Yeah.
One part was like when they finally figured out that the Kylie, that she like has different people's like memories and stuff. And the doctor was all like, well, what the fuck do you think we got the fucking brains from? And then like Julie was like, well, I thought it was all done by computers. It was like, hell no, we got it from a live dead person. All right. And then
none of that makes any sense.
And then I was thinking in my head, it's like, brother, if this is made nowadays, they would have put an AI chip in that girl's head so fast. It'd been all good to go. And then Julian's fucking wish would have came true. He would have had an AI girlfriend. But no, this is 1982, brother. We had to take tissues from a real person. All right. And then my other favorite scene, which we'll talk about more in general too, is when he's... I thought it was the most ridiculous scene. He was on the chalkboard, right? He was all like, oh, he just looks at the two X's, like, two X's. Oh, no. Wait a minute. WW. Oh, shit. All right. And then that's when he figured out the killer's name. He was like, Willie Mercer. Damn it. It was that Jim guy the whole time. And he goes and tries to find him.
It's so ridiculous. Like the ending is it's like the payoff or whatever you call that is so ridiculous. But I don't know. I love this movie. I just love it. I don't know why. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it.
I might watch it again today. Anyway,
we'll break it down. It was all right. All right. It was a little too slow for my taste, but it was all right.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. I see that as a common thread in his films. It looks like.
But everybody, let's get on with the Retro Blood of what we do every week here on the Retro Blood. Brainwaves is no exception. Let's talk about what is going on in the world of the pro wrestling and the metal music around the release date, November 19th, 1982. Now, this is the original release date. There is a 1983 release date, but that's when the movie got re-edited to be PG.
Weird.
And I'm not really sure which one we watched. I mean, I saw a titty or two. I guess this is the R version.
Yeah, this is the R version, I'm sure.
Yeah. So but we're going to be doing the original screen of this one on here. So Alison has some big stuff when it comes to the music. So I'll just do my wrestling over here.
Okay.
So I found a fun little match going on around the same time that the Brainwaves was released in. I'm not really sure where this would be released at, but maybe at your local coffee shop. Maybe when you're hanging out, getting a little coffee.
At the video rental for sure.
So we had an NWA show at the Kiel Auditorium, which is, I believe, is still going on nowadays.
In St. Louis.
In St. Louis, yeah. Where we had the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, defeated Ken Patera in the main event. All right. And apparently this show also was the final wrestling show promoted by one Sam Muchnick in St. Louis as well, too. Yes. Of course, Sam Muchnick was a very famous promoter around St. Louis for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked a little bit about him before on the show and everything. But this is his last show, seeing a Ric Flair defeat of Ken Patera. And this is kind of like the rise of Ric Flair around this time. He wouldn't get to like megastar, you know what I mean, probably till like 1985. But this is kind of like the, this wasn't really like the flashy Ric Flair, but he's still like, it's like the up and coming Ric Flair. Kind of like before we got all the limousine riding, all this stuff going on.
Yes.
So,
before he was a limousine riding Ric Flair.
Yeah. So it's more just a babyface champion, you know what I mean? A little bit flashy and stuff. So not too bad.
So
like
what?
Yeah, he would gain his persona just a little later after this.
So from what you've seen, which version of Ric Flair do you prefer more?
I like the yelling one, where he's yelling at the crowd and everything, and he's in his suits and stuff, just freaking going crazy.
Because I feel like this era is so weird because during Flair for the Gold, when he's fighting Harley Race at Starrcade, the first or second Starrcade, he's still that babyface Ric Flair. He hasn't turned into the limousine riding Ric Flair yet.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's weird because when I grew up, Ric Flair was the yelling Ric Flair.
Yeah.
The heel Ric Flair. And it's hard for me to imagine Ric Flair as a face ever.
Yeah. He was for a long time.
Yeah, but he was for a while. He was a face for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I like the heel Ric Flair better.
Yeah, the Ric Flair I like the best is the one that obviously was in the Four Horsemen. All right, and also like a little bit before the Four Horsemen, like where he was developing his his persona. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The high suits, the Rolex watches, the alligator shoes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like going out there and talking all the shit and then wrestling like an hour with somebody for really good matches. So, and that's pretty much what he's known for anyway. His babyface stuff is all right. Like, the only babyface Flair I can remember is that one. I think it happened in the '90s where he's about to be facing a Vader, and he just came back to the company after having his WWF run, and it was like Family Man, Ric Flair, and showing his kids and everything. And it was just like, it was cool and everything. It was kind of see that nice side of him, but it's not Ric Flair. Ric Flair is not the Family Man wrestler guy, you know what I mean? Good old boy, whatever. No, he's the flashy, I'm going to get in your face guy. You know what I mean?
Wasn't there also a face run kind of during the later WCW era where he was getting home was being invaded and that kind of thing.
And
so, and his had his son there, and then during the NWO, I guess he was face too. But
he's a little bit.
But I prefer the '85 Ric Flair to the '82 Ric Flair myself.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Ric Flair's had a couple like babyface runs throughout the time. That's pretty good, but his stuff that he's known for is mostly like his his heel persona.
Yeah, that's what made him popular, famous.
Yeah. He would have been something in this movie, huh? I don't know where he would have fit in.
Oh wow!
He just would have showed up and.
What if Ric Flair had played the doctor that was explaining to him that they used another person's brain?
Yeah, that'd been fun.
Like he was just screaming at the other guy about how that's not computers. We use somebody else's brain for this.
Yeah, exactly. We thought it was all AI before AI was a thing. Apparently, you're wrong. You didn't see the fine print.
The fine print.
That other doctor.
Read what you signed.
That other doctor was pretty funny though. The one like they had to go for like the second opinion. They're like, well, we didn't realize they were going to be using some tissue. It's like, well, fuck you fucking signed this shit, didn't you?
Yeah. Did you not read it?
I didn't read that shit. So, but what do you got for us for that house? I know it's got something fun.
Yeah. So this is sort of a lost movie, which we'll talk about when we talk about who booked this shit, in a way. But I also want to talk about a lost album.
Yeah.
So today I want to talk about an Ozzy Osbourne release called "Speak of the Devil."
Okay.
Which is a live album that he released after Randy Rhoads died. Now, Randy Rhoads was originally intended to play on this album, but in March of 1982, Randy died in that tragic plane crash, which we talked about on a previous episode that I can't remember which one it was, but we did talk about it before, and this continues on from that story. Yeah. And the thing also we didn't mention during that time is. So before Randy died, like in the early part of 1982, the publishing rights to the Black Sabbath material that Ozzy Osbourne sang on was up. Like the deal, like the publishing rights that they had went back to the band so that they could make money off publishing, because a lot of bands sold their publishing away, and they still do it some, but like a lot of like basically somebody would take your publishing because musicians don't know anything about that, and then they would make money every time that you sell a record, even though they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so about this time in 1982, they were getting their publishing back. So this was the same year that Black Sabbath was going to release their Live Evil album, which we've also talked about before. And Ozzy wanted to find a way to make money off these Black Sabbath songs and also show Black Sabbath that he could play the Black Sabbath songs as good as they could.
Yeah.
With their new singer, Ronnie James Dio. So Speak of the Devil is a double live album with only Black Sabbath songs on it. So there's no Ozzy solo material on it at all. And they were going to do these shows at the Roxy in New York City, which is like 1,000-seat venue, and play only Black Sabbath songs. And then we're going to put it out as an album and make a bunch of money. And it was also going to fulfill his final contract to Jet Records, and he was going to be able to move on to better things.
Yeah.
Great. So this is a great plan. So, but the problem with this is the band didn't want to do it. So Randy Rhoads, Tommy Aldridge, and Rudy Sarzo, who were the band that Ozzy had at the time, did not want to do it, and Tommy and Randy refused to do it. They just we're not going to record this album. We've established ourselves as a recording band that makes good new music, and we don't need to go back and record these old songs. So this started a really big rift between Randy Rhoads and Ozzy Osbourne, and this is something that nobody talks about now, because now that Randy's dead and now that Ozzy's dead as well, you know, Ozzy talks about how Randy saved his life and like blah blah blah, and he did, and all that stuff is true. But after Randy refused to play this album, to do this show and record this album, there was a huge rift, and Ozzy was constantly threatening to fire him and replace him with other people. And he went on this this is like when his like drinking got really bad. Yeah. And that story about him pissing on the Alamo and getting arrested, that happened during this time. So so Randy decided he was going to quit. He's like, I'm still under contract for another album, so I'll record this album, play these shows, record this album, and then I'm done. I'm leaving the Ozzy band. And Rudy Sarzo, who the bass player at the time, he wasn't as adamant and about refusing to do the album, but he had already started Quiet Riot, or he was already playing bass in Quiet Riot and recorded that Mental Health album, and he was going to leave as well. And then Tommy had, like I said, had refused to record it as well. So anyway, this goes on for a while, and then on March 19th, 1982 is when Randy Rhoads died, which we've talked about before. Yeah. So then they had to figure out what they're going to do. So over that summer, they were trying to find a new guitar player. They ended up, long story short, with a guy named Brad Gillis. So Brad Gillis was in a brand new band at the time called Night Ranger. And Night Ranger's debut album had not come out yet, but I mean, he's a hell of a guitar player, and he filled in. The problem with Brad Gillis is he wasn't really familiar with Ozzy Osbourne's music, and he didn't know what Black Sabbath sounded like.
Interesting.
So he bought Black Sabbath albums to listen to them, to learn the songs. Yeah. And so this goes on, and then he joined Ozzy's band. He was playing on all the shows that they had scheduled. Like Ozzy was doing his tour, and we get to the fall of September 26th and 27th, I believe it is, of 1982. They're going to play these two shows. Brad Gillis had learned the songs by then. So they show up in New York, and they have 2 days of rehearsals. So Sharon Osbourne shows up, and Ozzy's like completely just he's like, this is like the height of his drunkenness, right? Yeah. So Sharon shows up and is like, we're going to rehearse for a couple of days for these shows, but Ozzy's kind of in a bad mood, so don't expect him to show up much. It turns out he didn't show up at all. So they didn't do any rehearsals with Ozzy, period. So they learned the songs, the three of them. Ozzy shows up for the first night of the show with his head shaved.
Oh yeah, right.
So all those famous pictures that you see of Ozzy with a bald head, that's why he has that, because he shaved his head right before this first show.
Interesting.
He got there, they did the sound check, and he realized he couldn't remember any of the lyrics of the songs. So when he played the show, they set a chair with a lamp beside it, and a notebook with handwritten lyrics to all the songs. And I don't think there's any video footage of this, but supposedly at some parts of the show, he would stand beside the chair reading the lyrics off of the notebook as he sang the songs.
Nice. There you go.
So, and Iron Man, Paranoid, and one other, Children of the Grave, Sharon told them that they didn't have to worry about rehearsing those songs because when the album comes out, they're going to replace those 3 songs with songs, previously recorded versions that Randy Rhoads played on. Great. We won't rehearse those. We'll just learn how to play them, and we'll play them for the show, and that's going to be it. Well, they didn't do that. So the versions that are on the album are the real loose, unrehearsed versions. And I mean, I think the album sounds good, but the people that played on it don't. So this whole thing was a clusterfuck from the beginning.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Ozzy hates this album, and it has been released before. I mean, you could buy it originally in 1983 when it came out.
Yeah.
All right, actually, it came out in November of '82.
Yeah.
Which is what we're talking about. It came out in November 1982, which is what we're talking about. But it kind of went out of print pretty soon after that, and then it was re-released in Europe in 1995. And so like 30 years ago, and you haven't been able to buy it really since then, as far as I can tell. The LP version of it is very expensive. You can still buy a CD for like $30, a European import of a 95 release. And you can listen to it on YouTube, of course, where everything lives that doesn't exist anywhere else.
Everywhere.
I personally like this album. I think it's cool to hear Ozzy sing these Black Sabbath songs with his new band. And I wish they would re-release it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to talk about that because this is sort of a lost movie, and Speak of the Devil is sort of a lost Ozzy Osbourne album as well. And it's an album that most people have never heard or even know it exists.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Man, what a just going on there and winging it, basically.
Just winging it, yeah. Like we're going to rehearse at all. We're just going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I just imagine like showing up 2 hours before this first show starts, and you realize you don't remember any of the lyrics of the songs.
I don't remember nothing. It's like, oh, fuck.
Right.
It's like,
I
wrote that.
Plus, he's completely shit faced,
Yeah.
every day through this entire process. But yeah,
That's crazy.
But yeah. Anyway, I just want to talk about that for a minute because it is cool. I mean, it's a really cool historical thing to have.
Yeah.
And I have a version of it on CD somewhere, and I was going to show it to people, but I can't find it. So I don't know what I did with this rare CD. It's lost. It's lost in my house somewhere too.
Lost in the collection.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, we'll play a little bit for our podcast listeners. Maybe I'll find a song off that album and we'll play it.
Yeah, you can find it on the YouTubes.
There you go. But let's get into it, everybody. Let's get into who booked this shit.
Yeah, who booked this shit?
The fucking Brainwaves, man. From one Ulli Lommel.
Yep.
Lommel, whatever the fuck. So he wrote this movie with obviously his lover, Susanna Love, who was obviously in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
She was Kylie. Like you said before on last week's episode, we're going to be seeing a lot of Suzanne Love on here.
Yeah, I think she's in all of these movies, actually.
Yeah, she's basically like the Sharon. She's basically like the zombie chick.
Yeah, what's her name? Sherry Moon Zombie?
Yeah, something like that. So she's on the fuck. She does an okay job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, sure.
Nothing too bad. So this one was co-written, directed by Lommel, and also let's see who else wrote this shit. Yeah, like I said, written by Lommel and his wife. Let's find some fun stuff about it. All right, so there's a couple little things. I couldn't find a whole lot about this movie, of why he wanted to make it or nothing, but
yeah, there's not a lot known about this, which I'll talk about in a minute when you finish what you're saying.
So the photography took place at the Memorial Veterans Administration Hospital in Loma Linda, California, with additional shooting taking place in San Francisco. All right, and all the filming got done on April of 1982. Apparently, they had a budget of $2.5 million.
That I don't know where that money went.
Well, it went to Kerr, paying his toll fee and then speeding on the road. Maybe it was his hair. He had nice hair.
There's actually some pretty big name actors in this, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But I mean, that's one thing I could think of is that, I mean, $2.5 million is insane.
It made its money though. It made about 3.3 million back, but you know something.
Eventually,
eventually. A couple other things. One, John Huston was originally cast in the role of Dr. Clavers. You know, the doctor with the heart deal.
Yes.
But he became ill, so after that there was talks with Rock Hudson, but he wasn't available. Eventually, Tony Curtis was cast in the role.
Yes. So. And there's a lot of connections to Alfred Hitchcock that I'll talk about in a minute, but in a little bit. But Tony Curtis is a very, very famous actor.
Yes.
Who was in a lot of things, but he was sort of like going toward the end of his career at this point, as a lot of the people in this movie were.
Yes. So also,
he is also sorry, I was gonna say he is also Jamie Lee Curtis's dad.
Well, there you go. All right, Tony. Yeah, that's right. Tony Curtis, man, that's pretty cool. There you go. There is a connection to everything. All right. So another fun thing on here was the death scene with the boombox. What do they call it back in 1982? Was this a radio, or what do they call that thing?
That might have been just called a radio, but in the 80s, I'm pretty sure boombox is a term that came from the 80s, and I'm really surprised people still use that.
Because all I remember is the JVC kaboom box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm also surprised people still use boomboxes, period. But yes.
Well, nowadays, no, but nowadays you got those little portable speakers that you connect to your phone.
Right, yeah, or just listen to music from your speakerphone.
Yeah,
with the speakers on your phone, which people tend to do for some reason.
So the filming of Corinne Alphen's death, that was the girl who she died at the beginning and had her brainwaves transferred over to Susan.
Yeah.
So it presented two challenges. First, it was difficult to get the cameras and equipment into such a confined space. Also, Affine was expressed reluctant about the scene and wondered if it would be safe. To assure her how safe it was, the wife of one of Lummel's assistant directors got into the tub as the underwater exploded. You know, showing the electricity went off. Seeing it was safe, Affine filmed the scene. So you gotta show me, or else I ain't doing it, brother.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they could have been killed, but
yeah,
that's
exactly.
fine.
So I'm dying for this fucking shit.
Yeah, she was the penthouse pet of 1982. By the way,
there you go.
That's where they found her, and that's why she has this small role where she's naked in the bathtub.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it, man. So, like Alison was saying, they do have an extensive cast on here. All right. First one we already talked about him, Keir Dula, or Dule. I think I'm saying that right. Keir,
I think so. I'm not sure.
Atwood Dule. Obviously, he's known for the astronaut David Bowman from the 2001 Space Odyssey, which is one of the most famous movies of all time, one of the most influential movies of all time by one Stanley Kubrick.
Yes.
All right. I think he was in like a Twilight episode too, because this guy's been everywhere, man. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a fairly extensive actor.
Yeah.
I was not familiar with him until I started researching this. I'm like, oh, I think I was in Black Christmas, and he was in 2001.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's been in a lot of things. Most movies I haven't seen, but he has an extensive career.
Yeah. I mean, he goes all the way up until 2022. All right. And then he has also a big career on television. He did a couple Law and Orders, Hunters. He was in an episode of Halo. All right.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, he's still kind of doing some stuff out there in the world, which is pretty cool to see. But yeah, I mean, when I was watching it, I was like, this guy looks fucking familiar and shit. But I think I knew him mostly from Black Christmas because, you know, and obviously I've seen Space Odyssey a couple times as well too. But those are probably his two most famous roles, if I'm guessing.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, he also did the sequel to it as well too, Space Odyssey.
2010, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two movies that people who follow our show would probably know him from at least, and that we would as well. Yeah.
So obviously Susanna Love, we talked about her last week. She's the wife of the director.
Yeah.
And she was in pretty much all of his fucking movies. I mean, The Boogeyman, which we're gonna be doing later down the road. Olivia, the Devil's. I can't even say it, even though we did it. All right, the
Devilsville Terror. Yes. Yeah.
Strangers in Paradise, Revenge of the Stolen Stars, all his fucking movies. So we'll be seeing a lot of her this month again. Who else do they got in this bitch? We have Miles.
Vera Miles, yeah.
All right. She was in The Band Who Shot Liberty Valance. All right. Apparently she was in Psycho too. There you go.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about that. So that's a weird connection. So like, I'll talk about this a little bit later, but like, I feel like this movie feels like an Alfred Hitchcock movie.
A little bit, yeah, I can see that.
And not just because it was filmed in San Francisco, but it just feels like he was trying to make a tribute to Alfred Hitchcock. And he cast Vera Miles, who was in Psycho, playing a character named Lila Crane.
Yeah.
But her name in this movie is Marion.
Marion, yeah.
Yeah, so, and Tony Curtis is in this movie, who was married to Vera Miles, who was also, not Vera Miles, to Janet Leigh, who was also in Psycho. And in Psycho, Janet Leigh's character was named Marion, and Vera Miles played her sister.
Interesting.
I know that's confusing, but
what a timeline.
But they have like the names, like the name. She had basically, her character basically has the name of her sister's character from Psycho.
Yeah.
And the woman who played her sister was married to Tony Curtis. So it's like there's this weird like Psycho Alfred Hitchcock connection to it. Yeah. To this whole movie.
Yeah, she was also in Psycho 2, which we also did on the show.
Yes.
Everybody check it out in the archives.
Mm-hmm.
We still got to do number 3 too.
We still got to do 3 now that we're out of the 80s. Sometimes
we're opening up the universe.
Yeah, it's like the Retro Blood expanded universe.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about Tony Curtis, Jamie Lee Curtis's dad. We have Eva Brent. All right, played Mrs. Simpson. She was known to be Jane from Tarzan, brother. Tarzan,
I wasn't real familiar
Fight
with
for
her,
Your Life.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, Percy Rodriguez was more famous as a voiceover actor for trailers in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
So before the In This World guy or whatever that guy is, he did a lot of voiceovers for trailers. Like if you watch the Exorcist or Alien, the trailer for those movies, he's the one that's doing the voiceover for those trailers in particular. But he did a bunch of movies in the 70s and 80s, and that's where I recognize his voice from mostly.
So a little bit, like I was saying earlier before, the film was released on November 19th, 1982, and it actually got released in 2 markets. All right. Okay. Austin, Texas, of all places.
Mm-hmm.
Is this I guess this is before South by Southwest. And
probably, yeah.
Newport News, Virginia.
Yes.
So if you're around the Austin, Texas area and Newport, all right, you've been seeing some brainwaves in the screen. All right.
Yeah. I know the weird thing is that my aunt lives in Newport News.
Oh, yeah? There you go.
And the weird thing is, I'm sure I was up there visiting her in 1983.
Yeah.
And it's possible that this movie could have been playing while I was there.
While you're there,
when I was a very small child.
There you go.
Obviously, I didn't see it, but it's possible that I could have been in the same town.
You missed out, man. I
mean, missed out.
Look at the cinema that you missed.
I know, this movie's a classic.
Got Julian running around trying to figure out what the X's mean. All right. He kept calling his son Pumpkin. All right. He kept talking to himself and doing his daily job.
Exactly.
So apparently also too, it was when it was released in 1983 to get that PG rating that they wanted so bad. It also got released under a different alternative name called Mind Games.
Yeah, I like Brainwaves better. I just think it sounds cooler.
Yep. So, but everybody, that's a little bit about some of the history behind Brainwaves. But I say let's get into it. Let's get into the full review of Brainwaves.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
A nightmare living in your brain. Suffering severe brain damage in an automobile accident, a young woman's only chance of life is through the Clavius process, the transfer of brain impulses from one human being to another. But the donor is another attractive woman who was viciously murdered in her birth. It's a transfer of terror. For Kaylee has the memory of the victim imprinted in her own mind. A nightmare reality that she has to live with or die by.
But he is going to have to kill her too.
Who would know us brain into the Sabbath?
What is the terrible truth behind the Clavius process? The search leads Kaylee into deadly danger. Tony Curtis, as you've never seen him before, in Brainwaves. A mind-blowing murder story with a terrifying twist.
Brain.
Get it this month, only from the...
All right, so we start off
Yes.
the Brainwaves movie with some angry girl, Lillian. All right? Or Leanna, sorry. Leanna. And she is screaming in this Boston, New York style accent to tell this guy to get the hell out of here. I ain't interested in you no more. All right? Get him out of here. We kind of see that first person camera a little bit on her. Then she goes, takes a nice little bath. There's a lot of baths in this movie. You notice that?
Well, yeah, because there has to be. It's an early '80s movie, so it has to be. There has to be nudity.
All about the bath stuff on here. So she's taking her little bath. All right, and then we see somebody enter the room who has, well, it doesn't say Adidas on there, but it has the Adidas like logo on the shoe.
Yes.
The three little stripes. So I just called him the knockoff Adidas killer. Grabs the good old boom box, radio, jukebox, whatever the hell you want to call it. Takes it out the wall and kills her by death of electricity in the tub.
Yeah, so I feel like this is odd. Like, what an odd choice of kill somebody. Although I'm sure he's trying to find somebody to kill her in the bath because he hired a penthouse pet to play this part.
Yes.
So he's like, well, we'll just have him throw a radio in the tub and then she'll be electrocuted.
Easy stuff. So she gets to the hospital and stuff, and she's pretty much dead. And the Adidas killer is kind of like stalking around the hospital, I guess, to make sure that she's gone and everything. All right. So this is when we meet our nice little couple. All right. We meet the Julian and Kylie Bedford. All right. They have a little son where they just call Pumpkin the whole time. All right.
Which is, I think, is weird. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's like a thing that parents call their children. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but okay. Whatever, Pumpkin. It's okay.
Whatever, Pumpkin.
So they're on a boat, all right, and their big thing is they like to go boat riding together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why don't we leave the pumpkin behind? We can go boat riding with each other together. All right. So they're doing their daily activities. A lot of daily activities in this movie. All right. The husband, I'm not exactly sure what his job was, but I think he might be like an architect or something because he always had like plans around him. And basically, the wife, Kylie, she goes off and go get some food from the store. All right. And the movie kind of starts off with her like, listen, man, I've been to a bunch of big cities with my traveling job and everything.
Yeah.
You gotta you can't just jump out in traffic, man. These people do not stop. All right. So this girl was gonna outrun.
Foreshadowing.
This girl was gonna outrun the train. I'm pretty sure this is like this movie was taking place in San Francisco, right?
Yes, it's a streetcar. Yeah. So I guess I've never been there personally, but San Francisco has like a streetcar system that you can ride downtown. So she's trying to run in front of the streetcar as she's crossing the street. She's trying to run in front of the streetcar so she doesn't have to wait on it.
Yeah. But of course she gets her heel stuck in the fucking road.
Yeah, of course.
All right. And then she breaks free. She avoids the train car, and then there's a real car there, and she goes headfirst into the windshield.
Yeah, bad move, Space Cadet. I really thought that I really like this scene. I like the scene a lot. It's very Alfred Hitchcock in a way, although Hitchcock would never make a scene exactly like this. But I like it because you think she's going to get hit by the streetcar because her heel gets stuck, but then she gets free, and then she goes into the other lane, and then the car hits her.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic.
So
loved it.
She is now at the hospital, and the doctor, the first doctor that takes care of her, Dr. Robinson, all right, played by one Percy Rogers. He explains to her that, you know, she's alive and everything, but she's basically like in a coma, and she's like dead to the world, basically. You know, there's nothing really there. All right, and then we get a long scenes of Julian and his son going back and forth. Son doesn't think the mom's ever going to talk again, and Julian's like, well, we don't know that, and they're going back and forth. We have Julian going on to his daily activities, but he's very distracted and everything. And we find out that one Dr. Schubert tells the other main doctor, oh boy, what is his name on here? Dr. Clarvis. All right, that the patient that they had to do his experiment like backed out. All right, so now Clarvis, who I thought was gonna be like a Cochran style fucking villain, but he wasn't.
Right.
He actually was kind of lame in this movie. He is upset, so he puts a telephone to his robotic chest. And this was not explained, unless I missed something, Alison. Did I miss something?
No, I have no idea. They don't explain how this happens at all.
Like,
except that
is he a robot? Does he get off my phone chest? I have no idea.
So what I'm thinking from this that we're supposed to get out of this.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So first of all, I really believe this movie is a movie of its time. Yeah. Right? Like if you were watching this movie in 1982, you'd get more out of it than if you're watching in 2026.
Oh yeah.
Right. So because especially the stuff with computers, because computers can do anything, even though they could barely word process back then. But anyway, you know, like they were like computers can do anything, and like artificial hearts and things like that were starting to become something that science talked about. Yeah. So I think that's what they're trying to say is that this guy is like the surgical genius who can do anything. Yeah. And he has like, you know, mechanical parts in him that saved his life or whatever is what I think that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, I was getting that too. Like it seemed like he was an experiment on his heart, and I guess he just has like a robotic heart basically.
Yeah.
And I think he is now trying to explore like the vast, you know, the vast like intricacies when it comes to the human brain. All right.
Right.
So that's why he wants to try out this experiment. All right. So now he figures out that Kylie, so basically she's the perfect candidate for it. He wants to approach Julian about it. I do like it though, the scene where they took Kylie to church and she's just sitting there like why the fuck did you even do that? Just to fill time? Like what the hell's going on?
Right. She's like she's still in a coma and she's just like sitting there. Yeah, that was great. There's a whole lot of filling time in this movie. Like most of this movie is people making dinner or arguing with each other.
Yes.
Until we figured out in the last like 10 minutes of the movie what's going on.
So finally, Julian now gets approached by the two doctors. They tell him about this brand new experiment with the brains and everything, and they kind of pull on his heartstrings a little bit. How would you like your wife to breathe and talk again? And they're like, it's all done by computers.
Yeah, right? We don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, everything. So he's like, all right, fuck it, sign me up. So they talk to the other doctor, Dr. Robertson, All right, because there's two doctors going on at the same time, and also the girl from Psycho too. The girl from Psycho was basically the mom, Marion. She was the mom too, so she was helping Julian take care of Kylie and the son at the same time. So they're going back and forth. All right. So they talked to Robinson, like, hey, well, what's going on with Clavis's experiment over here? It's like, well, apparently he's had good success on it, and I don't know too much about all that stuff. That's more of his field, but you're gonna have to, talk more with him about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they eventually agree to do it. The experiment. All right. So they shove Kylie into a tub, kind of like 11 off Stranger Things, and then we see slowly process. We see a little montages of her of talking again and walking again and doing bodily functions. You know what I mean? Kind of getting back into it, got into her groove.
Yeah. I thought that scene looked pretty cool where they show a close. Her head's still bandaged up.
Yeah.
But they show a close up of her face and her eye opens up. I thought that looked pretty cool.
Yeah. And they had this thing where like she's talking to her family, all right? Because one of the big things they were worried about was maybe if she woke up one day she wouldn't remember anything. You know what I mean? Like, which happens a lot of people with brain damage. They might wake up, but they might have no memory of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So they do like this little group meeting and stuff. They ask her a bunch of questions and stuff, and she's answering them pretty well. So she got a lot of her memory back. All right, and then she talks to one of the doctors. The doctor scored her. All right, talks to him a little bit about, she's feeling like a little bit like a monster, and she's also trying to like she's feeling like these weird feelings too. And he's like, oh, well, that stuff is normal. You know what I mean? You're just getting a lot of your brain functions back. All right?
Right.
So the first sign of something's wrong is when Kylie's at home. She got out of the hospital. She basically was in there for almost a whole year, I think, doing all that stuff. Because she even had her birthday. She even had her birthday in there and everything.
Exactly.
But she's back at home. She's about to take a bath. Because we don't take no showers in 1982, brother.
No, we take baths only.
We take baths only. So she's in the bath, hanging out, and then she has a dream-like sequence of what happened to the girl at the first beginning of the movie, getting a radio thrown into the tub. So she freaks out.
Yes.
So Julian's all there, like, what the hell's going on? She's like, well, I saw all this stuff. All right. So then they go back to after a while, like, she's noticing now that she's having like these like dreams, or like not even dreams, like she could see it like right when she's even living or she's basically reliving some traumatic experiences from somebody else. Like there's another scene where she just disappears and she goes near like a cliff where you can see like the San Francisco Bridge. She goes in there and she asks Julian, like, we come here a bunch of times before, and he's like, I don't remember being here at all. All right.
Which I was gonna say, I think that's odd. That's just weird because that hill where they're standing on, above the Golden Gate Bridge, is a really famous movie location where a lot of movies are shot, and I think it's weird that they would never have been there. Like it seems like a place, at least in movies. I've never been to San Francisco, but it seems like a place in movies that a lot of people go to. But they've never been there ever. Well, that would be like somebody from New York saying I've never been to Central Park.
Well, I think they were saying we don't go here frequently.
Okay, I see. Okay,
you know what I mean? So I think that's what it was. Like Julian says, no, this wasn't one of our regular hangout spots like you think it was.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Very good.
So now they're like asking the doctor has been like, you know what? Like she's having all this like, somebody else's memories basically. And they're like, well, we did put somebody's tissue in there. You know what I mean? And they're like, what? It's like, yeah. What the fuck do you think all this shit comes from? That doctor guy was pretty funny. He was like, what do you think? What do you think this shit comes from, man? He's like,
well, I thought it was all computers.
He's like, I thought it was all computers. He's like, no, man, this is 1982, brother. AI hasn't been invented yet. So we had to take live tissue from a dead person and put her in her brain. And he's all like, what? And then they go to the other doctor, and the other doctor, like the mom goes out to the Roger guy. It was pretty funny. And she's like, man, they didn't tell us anything about it being live tissue or anything like that. They said it was going to be computers. And Roberts is like, did you not read the paperwork?
Mm.
I thought he was hilarious. He's like, I don't know.
He did not.
Why are you coming to me?
Did not read the paperwork.
All right. He's like, why are you coming to me? All right. So now, they kind of accepted the fate and everything. But now, Kylie wants to figure out the mystery of whose memory that she pertained. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they do this whole goose hunt of figuring out who this person was. Okay. So they go, they also had to sleep by the fire that I thought like took forever. You know
yes.
what I mean? They're just talking. I was just like, come on, get the going, guys.
There's so much like filler for a movie that's so short.
I know. Like it's all just, and it's all like, we're not missing anything if you guys haven't watched it. Basically what they're doing, they're talking about, oh, how you feeling now? Oh, how are you feeling now?
Yeah. Let's make dinner.
Now? Let's make dinner. Hey, what's your
Let's sit by the fire.
Hey, pumpkin. And then the guy first he's at the job, and they're like, the guy at his job is all like, hey, how's everything going? Oh, it's going bad and everything. And then later on in the movie, hey, how's everything going? Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me at all.
All right.
It's almost like Ulli was like, so I got this story about this woman who gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
And then they put somebody else's brain tissue in her, and then she has other person's memories.
Yeah.
Well, what else you got? Oh, that's all I have.
That's it. We're going to have them talk, and we're going to have them talk and talk and talk.
Yes.
About nothing. Right? The whole time. So by the fire, they kind of realize that they probably need to explore what's going on with their fucking brain on their own. All right? Because the doctor ain't no helpful. All right? So they figure out where this Lita girl was staying, that ran down apartment and shit. And this is when they start figuring out about the double X's. Because Kylie wrote double X on the mirror. And she's like, what do you think it means? And at first, it's like, what, isn't that fucking straight edge?
Yeah, I thought she was a CM. I thought that was a CM Punk thing. But,
Whatever. What do we know? All right. So they're going around. They talk to the land owner of the place. And the landowner didn't want to really talk about Lily at all. But I guess Julia's, basically charmed her into doing it. He's asking her questions about, like who she was and everything. And she's like, well, she was very active with a lot of men. All right. At the time.
Yeah. You don't say.
And then they finally figure out that she had a boyfriend. All right. Named Willie. All right.
Willie.
Yeah, Willie.
I just can't get over his name is Willie. But anyway.
Yeah, so his name was
Willie Myers.
Willie yeah. Well, was it Myers? Yeah. Willie
Is it Myers? Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. William Meiser. Willie Mazer. Something like that.
Mazer, that's his name.
Yeah.
Willie Miser, yeah.
Yeah, Willie Miser, yeah. So Willie Miser. So, like, now Julian wants to go talk to Willie and see if he can maybe bring out some of Kylie's memories, to figure out what happened to her and stuff. Because when Julia met Willie, Willie was like saying like, yeah, I was her boyfriend and everything. And, I was out doing the shoot and I came home. I'm the one that found, actually the other girl found her dead in the hot tub, the landowner. But Willie was like, yeah, I was dating her and stuff. And I was out of town. I came home. I found out she was dead. And Julian's like, okay, well, can you help us? Maybe if you meet my wife or whatever at a certain time and frame and stuff like that, we can figure out what's going on with her and figure out the mystery of why the brains of her is connecting dots and stuff, basically. So he agrees to do it. Dr. Clavis, he's not helpful at anything. He just yells the whole time and wants to do his evil doctor experiments. So now we have come to the conclusion that Julian is doing one of the parts of my favorite scene that I talked about a little earlier, where he's looking on the chalkboard or the board. He was like trying to figure out, okay, we got 2 X's here. 2 X's. We got 1 X.
What could that mean?
We got 1 X, and then we have another X. Is it supposed to be like triple X maybe? Is it supposed to be straight edge, or what is this mystery of these 2 X's here? And then he's like, I got it.
Well, wait a minute. We skipped a part.
They're not. Which part?
We skipped the part where he goes to the gym to talk to him.
Yeah. Well, that's part of him talking to him.
Okay,
stuff,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, at the gym, that's where the Willie guy works at and stuff. That's where they were talking to each other about, hey, are you free tonight or tomorrow to talk to my wife? Maybe if you talk to her and stuff, some of the memories will start flowing out of her. We can figure out what's going on with all these memory balancing between each other. And Willie was like, yeah, I'll do that. Like, I'll go visit her and, we can, maybe I can help. All right.
Right. But then this is where we see him lift the weights. So remember, he tells him that, no, so he goes to visit him though, and he tells him that whoever murdered this other woman, he tells him about all this. He says whoever murdered this other woman had 2 X's. No, well, he doesn't say that. He says he knew somebody that had a double X tattoo on his wrist. He picks up his right arm. He said it was right here. Yeah. And he points at it, right? And then you see him go back to the bench to lift the weights again, and that double X tattoo is on his left arm. Yeah. So they know he did something. Whoever has this tattoo did something to the previous woman. Yeah. And then, he's trying to figure out who he is. But he thinks Willie Miser is just like a friend of hers.
Yeah, friend or former.
And so this is where we find this is where we find out that he was actually the murderer. Yeah. But Dooley doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, until he's on the chalkboard.
Until he's on the chalkboard, which is
the marker board.
Yes.
And then it's all like, wait a minute. W-M.
Yeah.
Willie Mercer. Shit!
I fucked this up.
And then during that process, Willie goes and picks up Kylie. They were supposed to drive to the doctor's area together, but he takes a alternative route. All right.
Yeah, he tells her that he's the doctor's new assistant and that he's going to deliver her to the doctor, which I didn't know was a thing. Yeah. Like, does the doctor send a car to your house to pick you up? I don't know. Well, maybe these do because it's experimental. It's like rich people shit, but I don't know.
Well, we also had Julian pretend to be the doctor's assistant too, remember, where he went into the file room, all right, to find files on Kylie and to find files on Lee, and that's when they were kind of getting the ball rolling of figuring out the mystery of who this person was.
Because apparently you can just pretend to be whoever you wanted to in 1982, and everybody fell for that.
Everybody fell for it, brother. So Julian is paying a toll to go one way. Yes. He sees the black car that has his wife in it and the other Willie on this way. He's like, oh shit, he pays the toll, he speeds out, and he does like this look while he's driving. All right? And then he spins the car around. Willie takes Kylie up to their favorite meeting spot. He's like, I know you have that girl's memory. And then he does a Scooby-Doo thing where he tells him like his plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Where he's all like, I was the fake Adidas killer. I had the triple X on my hand, or the double X. He didn't say that, but I wish he did. Now, he's basically saying, like, this Lily girl, she was my only one. She was my love, but she didn't like me. So when we see a scene of her yelling at him to get out of here, I don't want to be with you, you suck, everything, in her Boston, New York accent, he was all like, I loved her. If I know she was with all these different guys and everything, but I wanted to be with her, so that's why I killed her. All right? So he went in there. He's the one that killed her with the radio. All right? And then he's all like, you have her memories and everything. All right? And Kylie's freaking out a little bit now because it looks like he's going to push her off, which he basically does. He kind of pushes her off. All right? And then she grabs onto like a vine. And then in total pro wrestling format, Julian comes in, does a distraction run.
Yeah.
Where Willie is all like, this guy's running at me. And he's like, he's probably like a good 2 miles away.
Yeah.
And then Willie's just looking like, why is this guy running at me? I am distracted. And then Kylie, somehow she has double memories. Maybe that gives her double the strength. Maybe. She takes his leg and just throws his ass off the fucking hill.
Well, she doesn't even have his leg. She has like the pants leg, the leg of his pants.
While he was distracted by a guy who's like 2 miles away.
Right, because it was a run-in, like a true run-in, like a run-in from pro wrestling, a true run-in fashion.
All we needed was some music. If you had some music,
that's all you needed.
He would have been like, "What?"
Like just imagine if like as soon as he started running, like Stone Cold's music hits, and then he's just like running down through the thing.
Yeah. Well, it's really cool.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I always find scenes like this in movies funny because like it's hard for me to believe that if you were falling off a cliff that high that you could even grab a vine and you know what I mean? Like your hand strength would have to be so strong to not pull it out of your hands and you would fall anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't. Then on top of that, she uses her other hand to grab his pants leg, this full grown man who probably weighs 100 pounds more than she does, and pulls him off.
Yeah, and he just goes flying
the cliff. Like, but it was. I mean, it was a classic Alfred Hitchcock ending, like where somebody falls off of something and falls down.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I thought it was cool, the ending, although it is ridiculous if you think about it for like 5 seconds.
Yeah. So then, Julia, he rescues Kylie. All right.
Yes.
And then I guess they live on happily or something. And then we cut to the Dr. Clivis looking over 3 dead bodies.
Yeah.
So we got a body, we got a heart, and then of course we have Willie's brain. And then his hand falls out.
He says we have a brain, and then the hand falls out, and you see the tattoo on it. And I'm like, God damn it! Here we're gonna for a sequel that we're never gonna get.
Yeah, sequel.
I want Brainwaves 2, where they put Willie's.
2. Yeah,
we could still make that though. Like we could make that sequel now because we wouldn't even have to have any of these people.
Yeah.
We could just say that Willie's brain has been in storage for 45 years.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna put it in somebody else's brain. It could be like this Frankenstein type story where we get Willie's brain and into this person who has brain damage and now they're a homicidal maniac.
There you go.
Like we could do this, and it wouldn't cost us $2.5 million.
So basically, we would rip off Silent Night, Deadly Night 3.
Exactly.
Where they had the brain in the
yeah, it's exactly the same.
So, but I thought it was okay when I watched it. Me personally, when I watched this shit again, no. But I thought it was okay for what it was.
I would watch it again. I found it amusing. I liked it. In fact, I wanted to watch it twice before we did the show. I don't know why I liked it. That's the thing is I can't explain why I liked it. It's just fun. It's fun for me to watch. But the thing, and one of the benefits to it is it is about 80 minutes long. If it were any longer than this, you would lose your mind trying to watch it.
That's for sure.
Because everything that we've talked about in this movie takes place either in the first 5 minutes or the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Everything else in the middle is a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, there's about 15 minutes of actual action in this entire movie.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time, people are making dinner or arguing or traveling across a bridge, paying tolls or something like that. But
just hanging out. So, but yeah, we'll keep moving on now. So, everybody, hope you all enjoyed this episode of the Retro Blood. Talking about some brainwaves. But Alison, this is your month, man. What do we got next up on the docket?
So next month, before it disappears off Tubi, we're going to do a movie called Overkill.
Ooh, Overkill.
Which does not have Susanna Love in it. It's the only movie this month that doesn't have her in it. But Ulli Lommel did direct it. It's a different kind of movie.
Yeah.
It has Japanese gangsters and a lot of dying in it, which I've also never seen this either. So I haven't seen any of these movies. So this is a first for me and for you.
Fuck yeah, man.
So this is going to be great.
Spicing it up a little bit. Seeing what it's all about. I can dig that.
But it is on Tubi in the United States if anybody wants to watch it before we do the show next week.
We'll do it, bro. Everybody come out and watch it. What's it called again?
Overkill.
Overkill. There you go. We're about to overkill on this one. But Alison, what live Black Sabbath song? All right, should we be playing?
Oh,
if we can find it.
We can find it on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's play a classic. Let's play Sweet Leaf.
Sweet Leaf. What is it called?
Sweet Leaf from
Sweet Leaf. There's a lot of sweet leaves in this one.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe all Kylie needed was some sweet leaf, some herbal tea.
And everything would have been fine.
Everything she could have calmed down those voices in her head.
Yeah. Just smoke some.
Yeah.
Yeah. All she had to do is smoke some weed and she'll be fine.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. She would have calmed down.
Pain will go away.
Exactly.
Right? The doctor with the chest and the phone would have been, he would have been fine. All right. So, but everybody, thanks for joining us here on the Retro Blood. J.H. Alison, James Klein. We'll see you here next week on the Retro Blood.
See you guys.